As of the latest USDA state report, Nebraska's wheat farmers had harvested over half of their crop. Dryland producers were just getting underway in Nebraska's Panhandle when we visited last week. At the Panhandle Research and Extension Center in Scottsbluff, we talked with UNL Extension entomologist Jeff Bradshaw about the wheat stem sawfly. As Jeff said when we spoke, the sawfly has been seen farther east this season and in very high numbers.
Yeah, we saw quite a few wheat stem sawflies this year. I've got a student of mine that was engaged in some studies, doing some survey and documenting movement of wheat stem sawfly this summer. And he had one field site where he collected 15,000 adult wheat stem sawflies over the course of the season starting in May. So,
is there any reason that they've been so prevalent?
Well, I wish I knew the answer to that. We'd probably have better solutions if I knew that answer. But they definitely seem to be spreading, both in intensity and in geographic range.
Male and female, what's the breakdown there in terms of how many egg layers you'll have for the following?
Well, we estimated based on this year's population about 40% of those 15,000 in that one field, for example, about 40% of those should be female. So there's a lot of egg laying capacity. Interesting fact is female sawflies don't have to mate to lay eggs. They can lay what are called haploid individuals, and so once they come out, they just start laying eggs.
Where are you seeing it in the Panhandle, and how far is it moving east?
We can find wheat stem sawfly infested fields throughout the Panhandle. It generally still tails off as we go east, but this year for the first time we found them in southern Garden County, getting kind of close to the Chapel area.
Are they being pretty detrimental to that wheat?
Yeah, last year, well, so far we don't have really good records for this year, but from last year we had even some seed wheat fields that were experiencing 80% lodging from wheat stem sawfly, which is pretty dramatic. Obviously there's yield loss associated with that. Some of the problems associated with lodging are associated with harvest. I mean, you can still pick that weed up, but it can be slow going.
You say you've also noticed it in other grasses as well.
Yeah, so as part of our survey, we've been looking at some other grasses in the area, rye, downy brome, some of our other weedy grass species, and we've got some field locations or near field locations where we found as much as 100% of downy brome infested with wheat stem sawfly. Now it's sort of a dead-end host for the sawfly at this time of the year, but that might be possibly, those could be locations where the parasitoid of the wheat stem sawfly could thrive.
Are there avenues where producers can go here in terms of different wheat varieties or other things they can do in order to control this pest?
Yeah, so we've been screening some wheat varieties here at the station, as well as looking at the state variety plots that Tashomi and Deepak sets up out here. And we found some conventional varieties. Freeman, for example, might show some promise in having some resistance against wheat stem sawfly, which is great. It's a hollow stem and a new commercial variety from NU Genetics. But we also have some conventional traits. Solid stem trait in wheat has been shown to provide some resistance against wheat stem sawfly. And one of the things we've been doing with that variety is trying to test that pith expression across the state to see if that trait's going to be consistent.
In the end, is this the concern that maybe next year the numbers will again be high?
I would expect the numbers to be high again next year. We've been tracking, myself and colleagues at Wyoming and Colorado have been tracking the movement of this insect. And in Colorado this year, they had a new record down in Baca County, which is the southeasternmost county in Colorado, where they found sawflies, basically just adjacent to the Oklahoma Panhandle. So the insect is moving south, it's moving east. It doesn't seem to be
slowing down
at all. Yeah.